Welcome to the Roundtable, where you can catch us live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and welcome to it if you're not. So stick tight, hang tight. We've got some good stories for you guys, trending topics, funny stuff, serious stuff, and some things that all of us should know, some things that I wish I would have known a long time ago. It would have saved me a lot of heartache, that's for sure. What's up, Cultura? How are you? And what's good, Debbie? It's good to see you guys tapping in early. Make sure you hit that like. That's right, Salvador. Let me bring in the guest co-hosts, and let's kick this off. We've got Denise Castillo coming in. How are you, sis?
Hi sis. Good.
Good. We've got House of Tattoos.
Hello, ladies. How you doing?
Good.
I'm good, man.
And we have got the Mrs. Chicano Tube. Hi, Christine. How are you?
Hi.
Hello, Miss Chicano Tube.
Saludos, guys.
Nice. Good to see everyone. I feel like we're all even here. We have an even number, so
yes,
that feels good. All right.
I'm sorry, I'm outnumbered. 3 women and 1 man. I'm outnumbered.
You're a lucky guy.
I got it.
Right. Let's just kick it off right away with Denise. Let's go with you. You're on the top next to me right here. How was your week this last week, and what did you do?
My weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I went out. My weekend was cool. We got up and we went to I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Disney breakfast where the characters come out and they mingle with you and stuff.
Yes.
We went to that and it was cool. I mean, it's a breakfast buffet. So we got to get our grub on and that was fun. That's pretty much, what I did. Saturday I went shopping.
Nice.
And then Sunday we did that. So yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
That's cute. Yeah. Seeing all the Disney characters, it still takes me back.
Yeah, it's really fun. They mess with you, and my girls went with us, so we had a good family breakfast. It was nice.
Right.
That's nice.
And you did wake up to some lovely flowers, right?
Oh, for Valentine's. Yeah, for Valentine's, I did wake up to. I text Cholo real quick because he was just like. Sure. Yeah,
pizza here.
And I'm like, dude, stop with that. I know for a fact my husband never forgets Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's a fun time for us. Like I said, I woke up to a dozen roses, and it was just, I love roses. I love flowers, and he knows that. So yeah, it was a good Valentine's Day.
That's beautiful.
Cool. That's good news. That's good.
Okay. All right. And Christine, how about for yourself? Tell us about your
week. I had a very busy weekend. I drove to the San Diego area.
Oh, wow.
Shot a wedding there.
Is that where that was? Okay.
Yeah, I did a wedding. It's called Green Gables or something like that. It's a gorgeous venue. I had never been there, but it was really beautiful.
Nice.
I drove in on Friday night, and the wedding was Saturday. Drove back Sunday, so I was very tired, very, very tired on Sunday. It was so beautiful. I was so glad that it didn't rain. We had a little overcast day, but it didn't rain. It was very beautiful, beautiful wedding. So it was my first wedding of the year, 2024. So that got me started for the year. So I'm excited.
That's good, man.
Yeah, it's really nice. You can do weddings. You get to meet a lot of people, and then you get to see a lot of stuff and different personalities. And I just love doing it. I love doing it.
Beautiful.
And I drove with my two of my middle 2 kids. They're the ones that helped me. My 17-year-old boy and my 13-year-old daughter. They helped me. They were my assistants. And Mike stayed with our oldest daughter, and the youngest boy. So it was nice.
Okay, right. That's right. It's nice when the kids are at the age where you can bring them along and kind of put them to work too, right?
Yes, absolutely. The oldest didn't want to go. She tells me, Mom, I paid my dues. I helped you for so many years. And my 13-year-old, she didn't want to go, but I said, girl, you have never helped. So it's your turn. And I convinced her. She went happily. So
I'm glad.
At least you didn't go by yourself and your kids were there too. That's good. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
it's
a drive.
nice because
Yeah.
I get homesick whenever I leave for out of town for like weddings or workshops.
Yeah.
I get homesick, and if I have a kid or two with me, it's less like I feel like a little bit of my home is with me. You know,
Like a little bit is with you for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
it was a
nice.
very nice weekend. It was busy. I was tired, but it was great.
Right on.
Good. And you had a nice Valentine's.
I did. What did we do? Well, I actually cooked. He brought me some jewelry, which was nice, and chocolates. Although I don't eat chocolates, he brought me chocolates. I love chocolates, but I didn't.
sweet.
I actually have them saved for my cheat day. I have a cheat every month. I have a cheat day. So I'm there, and my son goes, "Mom, when are you gonna open up that box of chocolates?" And it's like I don't until I cheat. So
Right?
happening.
Yeah.
And you know what? We did have we had scheduled. Well, he had scheduled. We made reservations at a very fancy restaurant in Monterey that I love. But I was feeling a little sick that day, a little under the weather, and I asked him if we could rain check. So we did. We postponed it for like 2 weeks from now. And we got a better slot too. The slot we got was 9:30 because it was so busy. He tried to book it a week before, so we got a better slot, and so that's coming up. But yeah, he got me a gift. He got me a couple jewelry stuff. It was nice.
Aw, well, that's
nice.
sweet. I'm glad to hear that. And I'm glad you're feeling better and even better slot when you guys get to go. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
All
for
right.
sure.
That worked out. That worked out. House,
Nice.
tell me about your week. Tell us about your week and what did you do?
My week, Wednesday, me and Big Dog had a bone together, for for Valentine's Day. I went out, got him a bone, a big bone. What else? Spent time with my grandkids. That was a must, Spend time with my grandkids, seeing them. My my daughter's anniversary just passed. Enjoy some time with them. Just my kids, church, Bible study. We postponed feeding the homeless right now. We do it every Friday, but right now we postponed it. We're going to start up this week again. Other than that, just keeping busy, active, doing things. Yeah.
That's right. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that you're still,
You know what I got recently? I got what Christine was talking about. You know how you have that cheat day, right?
Yes.
I normally order my food, it gets delivered, then I put it away. I said, I'm going to the store today and I'm going to go shopping. I went to the store to go shopping, and once I seen all the cookies, the ice cream, so I went and started piling it in. Man, and soda. I don't even drink soda, man, but that A&W root beer float looked pretty good,
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So then I just started pouring it on there.
With the vanilla
I kind of
ice.
like overdid it, and I felt my sugar. I don't know. I feel ugly when I drink all that soda and sweet and stuff. And that day I felt like, man, you know what? I don't feel right because it like drains you. Like, I don't know. You feel sluggish, and I don't like that feeling. So I says, well, maybe I won't eat 3 cookies a day, 3 of those big cookies. I'll eat like half of one or something. So I got them still sitting there, but I've been binging on that, man. Yeah. Gotta
Now,
stop.
how do you stay away from sugar?
Huh?
Do you stay away from sugar?
Yeah. I stay away from sugar. I drink
So that's
puro
what happens.
agua, and that's all I
What
drink.
happens when you stay away from sugar, and then you have
Yeah.
it. So it's sort of like your body becomes sober from sugar, and then
Yeah.
when you have it, you get a headache.
Yeah. It was like I didn't like the feeling, so I said I'll just cut back on it,
Yeah.
But it's just like I shouldn't went. I blame it on Brenda Love. Brenda Love, man.
Brenda. Oh,
I see it
no.
on IG, man. But I just went crazy and got all
Did
those
she
things.
post it?
Yeah, all the stuff she posts, huh?
Yeah.
Upside down pineapple cakes, everything. Man.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
She hooks
Yeah.
it up, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's like, oh, sometimes the kids will crave something, and I'm like, please ask for something that I don't love because I don't want it in the house. If it's something I like, I
Right.
love to cook, but I don't want it here if it's something I like. So
And then you know what? I bought this what do they call those? I bought the thing from my brother-in-law, my son-in-law, the Bible, right? And then I was watching that movie. It's called I don't know if you ever seen it. It's a miniseries, The Bible. Have you seen it?
Is it?
It's a
Yeah,
mini
it's
series.
old.
It's like 10 episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's older.
And so I bought that, and then I got some popcorn from the movie theater. I was gonna watch it if I didn't have Big Dog in the car with me. I was gonna watch that movie over there. What's that movie? One Love with Bob Marley. I
I
guess
want to see
the
that.
movie. Yeah. But
Yeah.
instead, I says, I'm Big Dog's in there. I don't want to leave him in there. So I came back and just ate popcorn and watched the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
That sounds like a good week. Good weekend.
Yeah. Busy.
Yeah.
How was yours, Jen?
Thank you for asking. It was good. Let's see. What did I do? Let me try and remember. I have like a memory. Well, I can't say which kid, but I will just say this. I'm going to be a grandmother again.
What?
Congratulations.
Nice.
I have to wait for
Grandma.
old, so
Shoot them over here.
So I feel honored too because I was the first family member to be told. So I'll wait till it gets out there before I say which kid is, the one.
Right on.
So that's exciting. Found that out. I was surprised. Some flowers were delivered to my house. Yeah. Back there.
Nice.
And
All right.
this. Let me see if you guys can see it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
Look at that.
Nice.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
I had that printed out or that logo made like a long time ago. Remember, Denise, when I was having some stuff made. Who was it? Rich that did it for me.
Oh, Rich DM?
I had him make me up some logos, right? Well, my kids hacked into my phone and I guess I had it saved in there somehow. And they went and had it printed out on a sweatshirt.
That's nice.
My logo.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so nice.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, that was so thoughtful. I would have never, I don't know. I would have never thought. So that kind of gave me like a little boost of like, okay, get on it. Like start thinking of putting stuff like that out there and doing things,
Yeah, getting that merch going, huh?
Yeah. So that was good. And what else? Something else happened. I'm trying to remember what it was. Well, just a lot was going on. My mom, well, I'll just put it out there because my mom said it was all right and she wants all the prayer anyways. My mom found out, I took her to the doctor, I think it was Thursday or Friday, that she's looking at possibly, I'm saying possibly because I know God is in control of everything.
Yeah.
Having heart surgery. So she was placed on some pretty serious medications and so if you go, if you are a person of faith, please say a prayer for my mom.
I'll keep her in prayers. We're doing that thing on Wednesday, so we'll keep her in prayers.
Yeah. I'm going to mention that too.
Yeah.
You guys tune in for that on House's channel in the morning.
We will do that.
Yeah. So I went with her to that, which I'm glad I did because, when it's about you, you feel like you can't take all the information in. So she was a little scattered the day before when she first heard. So I told her, I'm going with you, tomorrow to the next one. Yeah. So there I was like writing everything down, listening, getting pamphlets. Yeah. Right on. And I feel like that was a good thing that I went and understood, it's good to have someone show up with you and be your advocate at medical stuff anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
for sure.
But overall, everything was great, good, and I am blessed. So. Right on. Thank you for asking.
I want to say happy birthday, sister. Well, it's Friday, but happy
Friday,
birthday.
Right?
Yes, happy belated birthday.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, it's this Friday, so you're early.
You're okay, Mrs. 21. Okay.
Say it on air, but Linda got you.
Aww. And I hope you don't mind, Christine.
Go ahead.
Look at what I got in the mail from my beautiful amiga. Christine.
Nice.
It's got Bible scriptures on it, you guys.
I love the scriptures. Yes.
So cute.
That's nice.
Yes. And I'm wearing my slippers from Denise from Christmas. So I'm feeling love right now.
Oh, all right.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. Yeah. Friday is the birthday and my girls want to take me out somewhere. So they told me to do something.
That's nice.
Well,
yeah,
have fun, Jen. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the day.
Yeah, I
That's
will.
right.
I didn't mean to cut you off or anything, but yes, definitely prayers for your mom. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's always I go to my mom's appointment sometimes, and it's good to be there, just so you can know what they're saying, because right away she's like, I'm dying.
Right. It's a scary thing. Like you're like, no, let me go with you, mom, and hear everything
Good
too. Yeah.
support.
So it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna be,
Yeah.
in God's hands, and I trust him, above all. So
That's right.
that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
We'll see you do.
Let's hop into one of these stories. So I saw this on Instagram, and then I saw a couple people that I know talking about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to read this little story. It's not a story, it really happened. So, well, I guess it's a story. But then I want you guys to give me your opinion on, did this lady do this guy dirty, or did he deserve it? So let me get into this 1 second. And there's some other stuff I had on here that I was going to share, but I don't think I should. Okay, here we go. An Airbnb host recently took revenge in an extreme way. Following a negative review, Sean Mackey, who had rented a charming home dubbed a little more country in Memphis during the fall of 2022, found himself in a bitter dispute over the host charging additional fees. Mackey, alongside 3 friends, booked the property from September 9th to the 11th to enjoy the weekend of football and festivities. After he had initially informed the host, Pamela Fuller, about the possibility of having a few extra friends over for dinner, the situation took a left turn. When Fuller demanded $960, she claimed that Mackey had violated 2 house rules by inviting more guests than agreed upon. Refusing to buckle under the expected fees, Mackey's defiance led to an unforeseen personal counterattack. Fuller allegedly escalated the situation and sent Mackey's wife the security camera footage showing Mackey with another woman. This act of retaliation, rooted in a dispute over a mere property review and extra fees, has now spiraled into a legal battle and lawsuit filed in Mississippi District Court.
Ooh.
So she has camera footage of old boy hugged up with someone that's not his wife. Thank you, Jilu. I appreciate it. Thank you. And because he refused to pay the fees, she contacted his wife, who is I guess, well-to-do doctor in the area, and sent her the footage from the ring cam of the woman he was with. And I saw the picture. I'm not, really about humiliating another woman, so I'm not going to show it. But they were close enough in proximity that it was clear they weren't buddies. You know what I mean? They weren't there betting on the football game together. And yeah, so she sent that to the wife. Do you guys feel the host of this Airbnb did something out of pocket, or did she do the right thing?
In my opinion, I think it was out of pocket because it's unprofessional, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, go to court and then show it there. And if the wife's there, she's going to find out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a professional in my business. I never disclose anything that I see that's inappropriate. I just don't, as a professional. I'm very discreet. So, I don't know. I mean, it's bad. It's very bad, but I don't think I could do that. I would, what I would do, I would sue him for them. And like, nope, you broke the contract, and in court, show the evidence. And if the wife is there, it might go public, and maybe the wife can find out through that. But I wouldn't. I just think it's unprofessional to do that.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with that, because I think she should have just straight took it to court rather than bringing the wife into it. Now it's a whole different ballpark. But my question is about the camera footage, right? There's security cameras, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you rent an Airbnb, do they all have cameras there to watch while you're there having the party, or what? I never rented one, so
I from what I can,
I would think that would be a private event, kind of like, rather than being
Right.
able to view it, you know?
The footage that I saw was actually from outside the front door. So it wasn't within the home. But I
Okay.
do know people who have rented an Airbnb and there were cameras inside the home.
Yeah.
And that actually was a dispute for a friend of mine because she did feel, kind of creeped out. She wasn't.
Yeah. I think it would be weird.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Denise? You think
I was
bad?
wondering, like, how did she even know they had some type of intercourse if there's only cameras outside? That's my question. And then another thing is that my daughter happened to rent an Airbnb this weekend up in the snow, and it was funny because they booked it, and they get a email, and the owner of the Airbnb is telling her, we're selling the place. Somebody's going to go see it. Do you mind opening the door for them? Blah, blah, blah. My daughter was like, hell no. She's like, no, we're not doing that. That's something you have to do it on your time.
Right.
So she told him that, and they never text her back. So, you can't cancel an Airbnb on the day of. You have to actually have it before you're going to, like a day before you're going to go, right? I never went to one, but that's how she was telling me. And I was like, what? Like tripping on the whole thing. And so she was reading like the contract of an Airbnb, and they were saying that, the owner can't interrupt their time there. They could do it after, but not there. If they were to do it and let people go there while she was there, could have got a whole refund.
Like a violation of their agreement.
Their contract, yeah. It's like the other thing. What was written in the contract? A certain amount of people, and then he went over that, so that's why they charge him $900 something more, But,
right. And not only, like Christine said, you guys said it was unprofessional. What Change Man for Life says right here, her motive was not sincere. I feel like my opinion is she saw an opportunity, even if he had a couple people over that weren't supposed to be there, she could have, like you said, brought that up on the side or dealt with it in a legal manner. But I feel like she maybe even saw the opportunity to somewhat extort the money out of him.
Yeah, that's what
it sounds like right there, extortion. Because you know what? What's a couple of extra people here and there? That happens at parties, right? It's not like saying we're having this many and that's it. No, it's going to fluctuate, And
I mean, it's not like they were staying the night, right? Those extra people.
I mean, I don't know if she stayed the night, but she was definitely there at some point. Yeah. But yeah, that's true. You can't have hidden cameras.
You have to disclose that, I believe. You can never, it's sort of like a phone call. You can never, a lot of people don't know this, but you cannot record someone without letting them know that they're being recorded.
Oh, yeah. It's illegal.
And a lot of times I heard some YouTubers, were doing that. Like, I think I overheard one time my husband's talking about that, sometimes YouTubers, they do that, and that's against the law. You can go after them for that. You have to disclose that they're being recorded through, so my understanding that also goes with video. When you go to a house and it'll say something, surveillance video, you're being recorded. They're letting you know. So they have to let you know. It's against the law. I need to record you through voice or video.
Yeah, right. There's so many different rules, and regulations that we don't know. As far as that too, is like you have to have a sign up. If you have a dog, you have to have a sign up.
Beware of dogs.
Yeah, beware of dogs. I have dogs. I don't have a sign, but mine are doodles. They're so harmless.
No, yeah. I mean, because if you don't,
my dogs will invite the robber in. That's how sweet.
Right.
Hey, wait, getting back to robbery. Denise, you said the other day you were gonna rob me, man. What's up?
He was like, that party went. It did. The party went bad. Party was badass. I was like, man,
I was cracking
I could
up.
rob him.
Hey, that
No,
never happened.
back in the
People
day,
trip out.
parties that we
Not to
would
get
go
off
to.
subject or nothing, but people trip out of me. I don't even sweat off that, man. You know,
Well,
you better come strong.
hey, back in the
Right.
days when we used to go to, audio parties, house parties, shoot, best believe I'd be sneaking over there looking to see what I
Yeah.
could say.
Hi, Denise.
I was only,
Hey,
I was only 16.
hey, Spanx, watch Spanx.
Uh,
No, but yeah,
at the
but
end
not
of
to
the
get off
day,
subject.
that's
But
like, I feel like it was a bad move on her part. The owner of the Airbnb, it could possibly affect her business in the future because it's kind of a bad look.
yeah,
And
I
not
agree.
everybody wants to
agree with
feel like
that.
we're being spied on. A lot of people, I'm not excusing his behavior. He got found out and it is what it is. But I think to hurt his wife in the doing of what she did by exposing it was wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Read the contract because it should state in there about if it's going to be recorded or not. Wouldn't it say that? The
It
premise
should.
be
I mean,
recorded
it
or
should
stuff
say
like that.
there are
I never
cameras.
rented a Airbnb, so I couldn't tell you. But I'm assuming that if you have video surveillance there, that they should disclose that.
Right. That too, Dr. Chapman. It depends. Every state is different as far as recording, from what I understand, conversations on the phone and different things. But in California, it's definitely illegal.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to hear the full story on that because I'm wondering how,
I'm laughing because Dr. Chapatin is actually a Spanish show. If you guys ever heard El Chavo del Ocho Chespirito, that's El Doctor Chapatin. And I'm just... But yeah, it all depends on the state.
Yeah. So I have a question, actually. I wonder what it would be. I'm going to say this hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that I was in my office and I was in the middle of recording an interview with another creator. So they were like on the live. It wasn't live, allegedly. We're talking hypothetically. And somebody called me and was harassing me, but I had it on speaker. And the other party that I was on the computer with overheard the whole conversation. Would that be illegal if they ever repeated what they heard?
What I heard and seen in some cases is that they allowed some kind of recordings that wasn't done intentionally to be submitted as evidence. It depends on the judge, and they didn't warn them that they're being recorded or not, but due to the circumstances, they allowed that in court. So who knows? And that was in California.
Yeah. I mean, this would be an interesting. I mean, it's something. I'll just say it. It's something that did happen in the past, a long time ago. I was doing a recording with a trusted person that I still speak with, and a hateful person who was giving me a hard time a long time ago called and was saying all kinds of crazy stuff over the phone, but it was on speaker and the other party overheard it. But it really, in the long run, it backed up everything I had been concerned about and said. So it was no big deal to me, and it didn't go any further, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that probably is just something you'd have to discuss with your lawyer, too, like you said.
Yeah, if I ever had to, I would.
And then, you could always tell that person you're being recorded,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
recorded though.
Someone let them know that you're being recorded. You're 100% covered as long as you put it out there. But this is such a kind of like a gray area,
right? Because I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. It was like yelling. You know what I mean? I'm like trying to interject, and it was what it was. So be careful what you call and start telling the people, because you never know who's in the room with them. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next thing that I had seen was, this kind of reminded me of a story I saw in the past as well, but there was an incident, I believe it was down in LA somewhere, at a Home Depot, where an individual came out and was attempting to get in their vehicle and leave. I think he had already finished purchasing the items he needed. And for whatever reason, he ran into some sort of conflict with a food vendor selling hot dogs, I think.
Yeah.
And something happened. There was an altercation. And whatever happened in the in-between time, I think some people were hit or touched. He got in his vehicle, attempted to leave, and a security guard fired, and that guy was unalived in the vehicle that was attempting to leave.
Who was the guy attempted to leave? Who was that guy?
He was a customer at the Home Depot.
He was a customer.
He assaulted the hot dog vendor.
Yeah.
And then he was in there, so everybody was surrounding his car, and he was taking off. I didn't see them hit anybody, but it wasn't the police officers, it was securities that shot 2 shots, and they hit him in the head. So it killed him. But I don't know. I think they went overboard on that. You know, I could see if the lady says it looked like he was gonna run. No, that he could have ran over. She wasn't too sure. Or he was going to run over, you know, some people. But I didn't really see the video too clear, you know, but I don't know, man. That's kind of crazy. I would see if the guy was carrying a gun and it was in self-defense or whatever, but he was trying to get away. But
even cops don't do that, right? Even cops don't shoot. Like they'll like chase them back, but they won't shoot.
Hey, they'll shoot, They'll shoot. Right, they'll shoot and ask questions later.
Down here they do, yeah.
But I don't know. It was the security. I don't know. I mean, it was bad that he assaulted the hot dog vendor.
Yeah.
But shoot him for that. You know, get the license plate, record it.
There's a lot of missing pieces. I think it would help.
I agree.
Help understand if let's say if it turned into like a mob type situation, and he says, "I feared for my life. I had to get in my car and take off." You know, that would help. He's not here to testify to that, so
that
can't happen. Yeah. And it's probably going to come down to, I'm sure people were recording, so I'm sure police will look at everybody's different angles and see.
You know, and the person that did it, he's not in jail right now, right? That's what they were saying. He's not arrested for doing it.
Not the security guard.
He was detained, so questioned, and I don't know what will take place. I'm sure they'll wait and see if the DA decides to pick it up or not.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more video of it from a different angle or something, you know, that you can see a little bit better. But
I mean, plain and simple, I don't think he should have shot him. You know, that's just my opinion. He could have, like Christine said, get the license plate, identify him, whatever. But to shoot him, that's pretty heavy. And he shot him in the head. So
right.
I think if there was, the only exception would probably be is if he was actually physically like running people over and
or he had a
but
good.
Then again, you have to stop and think. Those bullets have no name on it, man. How many times is he going to shoot? And could it be hit an innocent bystander? You know, you know, you got to stop and think about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Especially the type of gun, you know.
Yeah.
If he didn't have a firearm himself, then
I think just the shooting was definitely uncalled for. Just, you know, get the license plate and just report it. You know, that's what, unless it's self-defense, your life is in danger, then I don't agree with that.
Right. There was an incident, I forget which area, but it was somewhere in Southern California last year, where there was this, the girl was 18, I believe, and she had just graduated, but I think her boyfriend was still attending the high school. He was a senior, and she got into it with a female that was still attending that high school, got into a physical fight with her. Then as she and her boyfriend are fleeing the scene, the armed security guard at the school actually fired on her and took her life. Wow. This was at a high school. So that caused like a big uproar in the community as well. Like, should armed security guards be so, so
Well, I
free?
mean,
I figure if like the place is getting robbed, like the dispensaries out here, right?
Yeah.
They have armed guards there, the banks or whatever. If they're being robbed or something like that, I would assume, I would fire back at them, if they're putting people in jeopardy,
Mhm.
But other than that, but this situation, I don't think he should have shot him.
No.
But house, down here, because you guys are up north, I'm sure you have a lot of stories too. But down here, Riverside and LA and Paris, and it's crazy. Everybody's trigger happy right now.
Yeah,
So
it
there's
is.
a lot of shooting going on. You guys seen what happened at the Chiefs game, right? With the parade.
Oh, the parade, yeah.
I was just watching the news today, and they have 2 adults and I think 2 or 3 minors. They couldn't mention the minors' names, but the 2 adults are getting charged with back-to-back felonies, and they're looking at like 2 life sentences.
You know what I liked about that is the people that were around there tackled that guy.
Oh yeah,
he was running away, and they went and tackled that guy.
Yeah. Shout out to the community for that one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's so sad that lady had to lose her life, just for stupid stuff. I mean, 2 people arguing and they pull out their. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, wait, what? At a parade?
I didn't even really follow because there was so much like depressing news going on. I obviously heard it happen, but did they ever say why that was it 1 or 2 people? Why did they do that? Were they mental? Were they high? Were they?
No, it was a gang. It was gang related, and 2 people just started arguing, and they both pulled out their guns and they shot at each other, and then a couple more. They said like a couple more minors jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't something that was against the Chiefs parade or nothing like that, right?
No, it was personal. It was something that they were, and it's funny because I told my daughter. Well, my daughter told me, she was like, "Mom, do you remember that Kyle Rittenhouse?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was underage, right? And his name was all over. His name was all over the news. Mm-hmm. And they're saying, "Oh, we can't disclose these 2 minors these 2 other guys because they're minors." And I was like, bullshit. Like, tell us who they are. Let people know who they are and what they did. Yeah. Because and I don't know.
It just might not fit the narrative. That's what it is. If it was a white Caucasian that's leans right, he would be all over the news. Yep. But if it's a thug, they won't do it. So it just doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, for sure. So
I hear a frog.
Yeah, those are my they're out there cheering me on, I guess. I can't get rid of them. I gotta figure something out.
The round table's on again. The round table's on.
Yeah, they're all happy out there. If anyone has any suggestions on how to get them out of here, let me know. Gee, they won't leave me.
Hey, send your cats out there, man. Chase them away.
All 7 of my cats are out there, and they're not even tripping on these.
Well, you know what? Go get those motion sensor lights at the 99-cent store. That bam, once you see them move, maybe that'll keep them quiet. You know
what it does, because there's a show, I forget what it's called, but it's called Okie something. It's like filmed somewhere in I think Oklahoma. And they were hunting bullfrogs. Mm-hmm. And I'm not kidding. They shine a light in their eyes, and it like stuns them, and they like stay silent and they don't move.
I never heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, we lived like our house was here and the ditch was right here. My brothers used to get the frogs and throw them on the lines. And they would just fry, they would cook, man. And when they were dry, they would just fall. So
what's up, Crust?
Crazy, huh? Yeah. Hey, Crust.
Hey, it comes with all the rain now. We're getting more rain than we ever had in years, Yeah.
Right. When it's not raining,
it just happens.
They're not out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my roof is still leaking, you guys. So
Oh man, especially in this web. Geez.
Yeah, they came back like 5 times, and I texted them today because it was leaking today, and I was like, he goes, F, excuse my language, but I gotta find that leak, and I'm like, yeah, you do.
Hey, that's when you go like this. You better get it right this time. Huh?
I'm like, I could freaking do maybe it's coming in from in here. Like, I don't know, but it's just been a long time that these guys haven't.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If they're roofers or anything like that, they should have had it fixed the first time around. Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
So with all this weird weather and us bringing it up and talking about it, I want to show you guys a couple of videos. This one I saw, this is Luis13222 on Instagram. Let me read this before. He said, I've been canvassing for a while now, and I have seen cows, horses, chickens, roosters, pigs, interesting people, but I've never seen a wind vortex like this before. It was quite interesting. You can hear the wind blowing against each side. I caught it on video, and it will definitely be memorable. Creepy, but memorable. Let me play this for you. This took place, hopefully I can see the right video. I don't have my glasses on. This took place in Fresno, California.
I've seen some really creepy stuff, but nothing like this. There's a palm floating right in the middle of the air. It's not attached to wires or anything like that. Wow. Only in Fresno.
That's
crazy.
Crazy, right?
Jen, did you see that one? Did you see that one, Jen, where the storm is and this guy's videotaping outside and there's lightning, right? And then all of a sudden he says, holy the S word, right? And then you see the shadow of, it looked like Jesus walking across. Did you see that one?
No, you got to send
it was like big. I kind of like tried to rewatch it again, see if it was kind of like made like that. But he was all like, holy S. And then he looked, and then you see off in a distance, big, huge, just body just flew. The shadow. It was a trip, man.
I'd love to see it. No, I didn't see that. But we cannot leave out our Southern California peeps. So let's see. This was down in, I believe, somewhere in San Diego. Let me show you what they saw swimming in the streets. So due to all the flooding that took place,
get that pole out, man.
Yeah,
that is crazy. Yeah.
Would that like blow your mind or what?
Heck yeah. But you know what? Global warming, that is real. All the icebergs are melting and stuff, and they're breaking off. There's going to be more water in, and they were saying by a certain year, like Long Beach area, and all the coastal areas are going to be flooding like this. And I never seen it like this bad, actually. And I've been here for 59 years, Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I can't imagine like just going down one of our streets, seeing the signs, and then like a great white, you know what I mean?
Hey, how about finding fish just falling out in the open, from a tunnel? What do they call those funnel clouds?
Yeah. I've heard of that. That's crazy. Yeah, all kinds of.
Unless I've seen it for myself, I'd believe it. But nowadays, you can put anything on anything, and
you can. The only reason
AI right now, be careful of AI, man. AI is creating a lot of stuff that really is not happening. So you gotta be careful, man. You gotta go with that AI stuff, huh?
Have you guys heard like how they're doing AI, like the singers? They'll get like Whitney Houston's voice singing a Mariah Carey song with the AI replicates the voice like almost to the T.
Yeah.
And also the speaking voice which is very dangerous. Imagine you can easily, I don't know, if people could easily just blackmail someone and, you know.
Yes.
That's what's going on. And it's also, not to get into the political side, is being political also. But you know what? How scary is that when AI can really control a lot of things that we're allowing it to? Because it's a race, believe it or not, between China and all these other countries and us, AI right now. And so people got to be careful, man. People got to be careful. TikTok's one. It's a China app. So you got to be careful of TikTok.
Just be cautious, be careful. There was actually an incident 2 times I read here. You know how we have like on certain groups, my mom was telling me about this one on Facebook. There was like a crime watch page, Selena's Crime Watch, you know?
Yeah, I was on that page for a while.
She was telling me that there was a report where an elderly woman, like I'm talking like probably, you know, in her early 90s, had just been duped out of like $4,000. And these people had called her and somehow generated a voice that was her granddaughter's voice, saying that she was in danger and that if she didn't send that money immediately, that these people were going to harm her. And she paid these people somehow, you know, through one of these apps. And it turned out that it was like somebody in Nigeria that had used some sort of calling device and just totally duped this poor little old lady out of $4,000.
Trip out. Randy Jean. You know Randy Jean, she's in the chats and stuff, right?
Yeah, shout out
she
to
hit
Randy.
me up on IG and I already got her as a friend. So she sent me a thing saying, hey, let me send you this money. I'm like, you know, what do you mean send me this money? So I said, I know it's not her, because I said, man, I know it's one of those what do they call that, scams or whatever. So they called me and I didn't answer. But then I called back. And when I called back, they were like from Nigeria or whatever, because they showed their face and everything, you know, and they answered the phone, and then all of a sudden they hung up, you know. But it wasn't Randy Jean. I never told her about that, but yeah, it was a trip, man.
They were using her picture.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
You know, it wasn't until about a month ago my daughters told me, Mom, if you know, you get a phone call in the middle of the night and it's my voice, you know, telling you, Mom, we need money, or these people have me, or whatnot, it's, you know, don't believe it. And I said, what do you mean don't believe it? Like, what? And they explained the AI to me, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you have kids, you have girls, you know, work out a code word and whatnot that you'll know it's them, you know?
Yeah.
Right. That's scary.
Right? Because your instinct, you know, as a mom, a grandpa would be like, oh my gosh, that's my baby. Let me do what I can do.
Yeah. You gotta have like a code or something with them, you know?
You know, I was in my son's car today, yesterday, and it was one of those electric ones, those, you know, whatever, and it has all these functions and everything. And I'm like, this is not me, man. I mean, you know, you could set it to where it has control, where it could drive for you, all that stuff. You know, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I said, I wouldn't even trust a car like that, you know?
Yeah. Right? You know, they're pushing those electric cars.
Not no more, girl.
Yeah.
No, you're right, Denise.
They're not
they're
no
cutting
more.
back on building them. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw in the news that they're not pushing those cars anymore.
Well, didn't the governor here in California sign something? Yet by a certain year, you can no longer buy.
But I think they're going back on that, because we're talking about that. But you know what?
I hope so.
Back east, where it's real cold, those stations don't even work, and those batteries. So you're like stuck with the car that won't move. You know, over here, I see it like over here at Walmart. I see cars just waiting there to be charged in a big old line. You know. I says, is it beneficial? Is it really beneficial or what? You know,
I don't believe so, because we have we got blackouts, right? How are you going to charge a car if it's
that's true.
It's not solar powered or nothing like that. And
like,
not only that, to allow a computer to drive your car for you when somebody could hack in there and say, hey, let's make a left here right off the side of the hill or whatever, that, you know, that all that stuff is
That's
possible.
scary.
Man. Yeah.
I heard
I'd
that
rather
you
keep it old school,
It's
you
where
know?
the person's asleep and somebody's
Yeah, I heard that you're gonna be able to sleep and your car will take you to your destination.
Right? That's
So-
crazy, man.
I have seen video of people asleep at the wheel and the car's driving. There was one time I was in the parking lot at Walmart on Davis, and this car like swooped in front of me, did this weird maneuver and like backed to the front. I was like, what are you doing? Like having my little road rage moment, yelling and screaming, only to see there's nobody in the car.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The guy walks out with his cart filled. He did something to make his car back up to him right at the front of Walmart. Yeah. And I just looked at him like, you jerk, because it like cut me off really fast and I barely had time to hit my brakes.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust that. That's going a little bit too far, man. Just keep it. You know what? Now these days, maybe because I injured my back, that's why, but I like the way those older cars in the 70s and 80s roll. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Smooth and comfortable. Now they're made so cheap. Even all the materials, they cost more and the materials are made cheap, you know? And it's sad, you know, because it's like you don't really get a luxurious ride even out of a Chevrolet, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's true, because another thing with that, the one really bad car accident I was in 98, they told me on the spot, the only reason you survived is because you had an old car, like an old clunker, you know, it was heavy, like an old Thunderbird. Yeah. I was like, well, thank God. You know?
And you know, those electric cars, man, if they have a battery fire, you can't put it out, man. They just incinerate or whatever
they do. And then it like jumps to the next one, if they're in close proximity, the battery.
Because they're all hooked up together and they are close. Yeah,
that's crazy. So this next story, I am not going to show the picture of that one either, because it's wild. Even though at first I was able to kind of crop something out, but it just still didn't feel right. For one, because there was a grown woman in a very peculiar position. For two, there's a child involved, and I'm going to explain this. It's nothing sexual, but this borders on very inappropriate. So there's this mother, and she's an esthetician, right? And she had posted this picture and a couple others on Instagram and was speaking about teaching her daughter, you know, how to run her business and generational wealth, you know, spreading the knowledge of her business of being an esthetician down to her daughter. Well, that business includes giving, you know, waxing women, bikini waxes and whatever else waxing goes along with it. Ladies, you probably know some of those positions you have to get into to do these waxes. So imagine that. Just imagine it. Well, we won't see it.
Anybody in the audience share some light on this?
Yeah, believe me. So
no, but to have a child around stuff like that,
I know.
I don't think it's cool.
Check this out.
You know, I know teaching them stuff like that, but they should be of age, and to be around stuff like that, I don't think it's cool.
Not only to just be around, this mom had her 5-year-old daughter wax 5 adult women and took pictures, posted it on social media. So many people were in an uproar. I saw the original post and I was like, what in the world? Like, this blew my mind. You know what I mean? I'm all for teaching your kids a trade, but that is not only that. How can you, as a customer, an adult woman, think you're going to go in there and drop it down and spread it wide for a 5-year-old to wax you? That's weird.
That's very weird.
Right? So there were people that brought it to the attention of like Child Protective Services. Well, the mother has been arrested now.
Good.
And they are investigating.
Yeah.
Yes. Didn't they post this on YouTube or on some
it was on
social
Instagram.
platform?
Yeah, it was on Instagram. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it was
and they're trying to do something about that also. You know, what do they call that thing when you're putting a child, what is it? exploiting or
child
something,
endangerment, maybe.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of brings me into, I mean, it's kind of an odd segue, but into the next topic that we'll end on this one. But teaching, our kids how to have a trade or how to save money or make money. And this is something, Christine, that I saw you and Mike had spoke about on a live.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that even G-Lou and Big D briefly spoke about it yesterday. And that was about how important it is to make a will or a living trust.
Mm-hmm.
And can you kind of break it down? Like what exactly is the difference between those two? Or
if I'm not mistaken, I know my husband knows a lot more than I do, but a will is more after death. For example, like once you die, and once a trust, I believe the trust takes effect immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I do believe that trust has better benefits when it comes to, you don't have to pay taxes for the property you inherit, versus will, you do have to pay taxes for the gains.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Capital gains, right?
Yeah.
It's
Trust,
a loophole then, right?
trust, you do have to pay taxes because we had a trust here.
Mhm.
We had a trust, and when we went to go change it to a will, they did write in the taxes that we would be paying. But I kind of spoke up and said, no, we want to grandfather it in. So we want to, keep the taxes as they are because the person was still alive. So they did that. They were like, okay, instead of like 6,000, you're going to pay what this person is paying right now. And so that's how I knew that we were still going to get taxed under the living trust.
Living trust
On the property, right? Is that what you're saying? Property tax.
I think I froze on.
Yeah.
So when we went to go do make that change, we were still getting, the lawyer kind of messed up and said, oh, these are the taxes you guys are going to be paying. And we're like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
But was that because you were converting a living trust into a will? Do you think that, because my understanding is that a living trust, you don't get taxed for it, at least here in the state of California. As it is, who wants to pay taxes?
How would you not pay taxes though on your property
for a living trust? That's the understanding. But you pay taxes. But what they're charging when you inherit a house, for example, and the title gets changed, you have to pay on top of the property taxes. Everybody has to pay property taxes no matter what. But now you have to pay taxes for the gain, whatever gain. Say you bought a house for $200,000 and it went up $500,000. You have to pay the difference in tax from the difference of the gain. And that is to me, that is straight up robbery. Like, as it is, California robs us so much with taxes. We know that, right? So can you imagine inheriting something that already got paid for? Like, your parents or whoever are giving you a house, they already paid taxes, but now their child, because they put them on the will, and now that the title's changing, they're gonna have to pay taxes. The gain.
There is something though called grandfathered in, is what we did.
For the property tax.
Because we inherited property, we were able to pay the taxes that my husband's grandma was paying. So that fell under a thing called grandfathered in. It's grandfathered.
Kind of like, remember the vaccines? You know how they changed in California where children now have to present proof of vaccines to go to public schools? So I don't vaccinate my children. And my youngest daughter was grandfathered in because when I had her in school, it still hadn't taken effect. And that's the reason she has remained. Well, she remained in elementary. Once she jumped into middle school, I had to find a holistic doctor because I have a what do you call it? An autoimmune disorder. And I really do. And my kids could possibly have it. And because of that, I refused for them to get vaccinated. So I did find a doctor, and but anyways, the point is that if your kid was in school while the law wasn't taken in effect, they're grandfathered in. So it's weird ways, technicalities, vocabulary they use, but I could see why they did that. But so a living trust, my understanding, is the best bet if you're passing, property assets to someone, when it comes down to like not paying a lot of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing. We're putting a living trust on our children, like our assets. That's what we're doing.
Definitely say, I'm just speaking from my own experience. I'm not a professional, but just briefly, I had spoke about it in the past. I even made a video about it, but I think I took it down due to some family issues. But for example, my father died what the state of California considers intestate, meaning he died without a will. He was actually, he did have a will drawn up, but he had not yet signed it. So an attorney drafted his will, had me as the executor, his sole beneficiary, everything across the board. But because it was not signed before he was killed, it was not recognized in the state of California. Shortly after my father was told by this attorney, I either had to move into his home and begin paying the mortgage, or rent it out to people, strangers. Now, this was my father's home. He remodeled with his own hands. His personal items were in it. I felt very attached to it. So as difficult as it was to think about being there, I moved in. I paid the mortgage, property taxes, everything else that had to do with this home for the next 5 years while my father's estate was in probate for 5 years. The reason being, of course, my brother had to go through trial for my father's death and be sentenced. My brother had I won't go real deep on this, but my brother had a child when he was young. This child was no longer a child when my father, all of this happened. They were an adult. And sort of all along this time, they played me, they played me. They came back into my life when they heard my father had been killed, acted, let me be in your life again. We'll be like family. Let me be there for you, this person and their mother. We don't need anything, which they didn't. They come from a very wealthy family. So they befriended me, acted as though they wanted to be there for me, came in the house, said, let me help you clean up. Of course, the first thing they wanted to clean up was my father's office, right? Where all his financials were stored. And got hands on certain items, including the name of the attorney he made his will with. Yeah. And behind the scenes, turned out that they had a very close relationship with this attorney through a sister-in-law. So I was played for a fool for 5 years throughout this probate and told they wanted nothing. They would never do me like that. They knew my father's wishes and they would respect those wishes. The day after my brother was sentenced for my father's death, I was served with paperwork. And my brother's biological child was suing me for half of my father's estate. I was forced to sell my father's home, his tools, his vehicle, his travel trailer, his bicycle. Anything that had a value to it, I was forced to sell and split it with someone who never cared to sit down and share a meal with my dad.
Wow.
So with that said, I highly encourage you to make a living trust, because the nightmare that I went through,
when things like that happen, it's unfortunate that people pop out of the woodworks and want to grab and take things,
And let me tell you something on that. What my father had was chump change compared to what these people still have. But they wanted my father's little bit still.
Yeah.
So at some point, I was able to. It took a long time because I used. Ooh, Lord, I'm glad nobody heard my mouth about this situation
Yeah.
behind closed doors. But you know what? At some point, I had to give it over to God and be like, you know what? I hope you did something good with what you received, and I hope that you're happy. Because I would have preferred you have told me from the get-go, yes, I do plan on taking half. I want it, rather than have me spend my own money and being. I ended up homeless, you guys. I don't know if anyone. I've never said that. I ended up being homeless for a while with children due
Wow.
to this situation. So
Yeah.
That's
make
crazy.
sure your T's are crossed and I's are dotted. At the end of the day, that's what I would say.
Really sounds like she had a vendetta against your brother. I don't know if he was in her life. Well, you said he wasn't, or
The mother took the child out of his life when the child was about 3 years old
Wow.
and remarried a few times.
Just
One of the
said, right,
times,
just send her,
married one of
send off
our family
a
members.
radar, man. Just there's money, give me,
Yeah.
give me. My mom, when
You
she
know, they
passed
don't
away,
need
I didn't. We had to go to court and we had to go to speak to a lawyer, this and that. But to me, she was still alive. But my sister came in and took her property. I used to take my mom everywhere. And when I used to take her, she says, I'm almost done paying the house off. My brother could live in there until he dies and this and that. Well, my other sister came in, took my mom, got paperwork signed and everything, put her name on the deed, I guess, and started taking everything, and the oldest one. And to me, and she says, I'm going to sell the house, which she didn't. She moved in there and she only gave her like $75,000. So then that's what my mom had left to live on. So, and then she was paying money for a lot of medical stuff, and so they put me in charge of it. But then my two older sisters were put me in the middle, shooting back and forth. And I said, you know what? Here's the $75,000, and not only that, they put me. My mom told me years ago that there's money in this bank account, and if something happens to me, it's for you. And I says, I don't even care about that. You spend it while you're alive. I don't even trip on that. And then they did something with that money. Somebody got it and took it. But it is what it is. But you know what? I found more peace to just say, you know what? Go ahead, do what you do, because I'm not going to. I felt more comfortable doing that. It's not about the money. It's about the time that they have on this earth and stuff like that. It's not about the money.
It's sad, but when people die that have assets, that's when you see the ugly.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
it very something really bad happened on. My grandmother passed away 3.5 years ago. My mother's mother, and she had her house in Salinas paid off. House was worth. This is 3 years ago, over $600,000. Somehow, as my grandma was getting older, one of my cousins was her caregiver. She was, in the state of California has a program called In-Home Protected Services.
IH something.
Yeah.
So my cousin took that job, and she was, that's like a big scam too. A lot of times these people, especially when it's family members, they don't even take care and they're getting the money. So this cousin of mine would pretend to take care of my grandma, and she would manipulate my grandma, somehow convince my grandmother. My grandmother then had 12 children, all adults, my mother included, and somehow convinced her to leave her house and give it to her youngest daughter, my grandmother's youngest daughter, who happens to be my tia, my mom's youngest sister, but who's mentally retarded. My aunt is mentally retarded. She acts like a little 5-year-old. She's disabled, mentally disabled. So my cousin was getting paid IHSS for both of them, right? For my grandmother and my auntie. And my aunt, she's the sweetest little 5-year-old, a grown woman with a 5-year-old mind. She convinced her to put the house under my aunt's name and convinces my grandmother to give my cousin wanted power of attorney for my auntie. And my grandma was very gullible. She went and did that behind everybody's back. They did this behind everybody's back. My grandma dies the very next day. My cousin had people like fixing the house already, like putting like new stuff all over it. Within 3 months, she sold that house and like a total scumbag took off to the other side of the country and bought like a mansion because she took off with $600,000. She did take off with my auntie, but it was the worst thing. Nobody knew this was happening, and she just did that. But that's, like I said, when you see the ugly, people will be so ugly because of money. It's sad.
It is. It's crazy. I mean, we got to wrap it up in a few minutes here just so I can pick up my daughter. But I'm telling you this, exactly like what you just said, Christine. I had to, and this is not a feel sorry for me. I'm not saying this. I'm saying this as a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when all of this probate was wrapped up, I had to sit in front of this attorney that weaseled her way in between and caused this division and leached her last name. Don't go with her, by the way, if you're in the area. And did me the dirtiest and sent me emails telling me get over it already when it came to my father's murder and things like that. I mean, she's a nightmare. And I had to cut checks for like $13,000 to her accountant. I can't, anything my dad had ever saved, plus the profit of his home, was all written out to her accountant, the attorney, the child that never had nothing to do with my dad, that was no longer a child, it was an adult, and all of the people that she had come out and appraise this, that, and the other. And I had to walk away and go find a motel room. So keep that as a cautionary tale. You guys make yourselves a living will, trust, see an attorney. Just make sure you and your kids are taken care of. I am blessed to have the family I have now, and I thank God for that. But I never want anyone to go through the nightmare that was.
Agree.
It's horrible.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you guys for letting me and for listening to me. I haven't really talked about it in a long time. Yeah. Like I said, I have forgiven. I know there's still some passion behind it, some heated feelings, but that's more so towards the attorney and the lies that were behind it. But other than that, I have moved on, and God has blessed me with many things all over again. So that's just to keep in the back of your minds and keep you guys, knowing what you need to know.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, House, I believe you have something going on in the morning.
7:30 a.m. Yeah, we're gonna be. It's called. Basically, I changed the name. Blessed this house or this and that, but it's about daily blessings. Basically, we're gonna get up there and read some scripture, and then do our daily devotion and just talk, pray. Anybody needs prayer, we put them on the prayer list. What else? And you know what? Testimony. Anybody has testimony, because God can change lives, and that's a known fact.
That's right.
And it's just something positive and uplifting.
Yes.
And I also got something happening on Saturday mornings. It's going to be at Saturdays 9:00, and I'm going to have 2 other people on the panel, and we're going to start from there. So I'm working on it right now, and we're in agreement right now, but we got to still touch bases. So that's going to be kicking off too,
Awesome. I'll share on the community page as well here.
Yeah.
Denise, do you have anything going on this week you want to share?
Not yet. Just hanging out here at home. See when the rain stops. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so keep me in prayers with that.
Yes, prayers for
I'll
that.
pray for you, Denise. I'll keep you in prayers tonight, man.
I've been to the doctors for a while, but I haven't got hurt or anything. But I know that my diabetes is not good, so I'm gonna hear.
Yeah, we'll keep you in prayers, sis. Amen. Christine, how about yourself? What do you have going on?
I don't know. I think I do have a gig this Saturday, and just see what church
Thank you,
Sunday. I need that church to get all the chamucos out of me.
I need to go too. I need to get up and go for real.
You know what? Church is within inside you, but you know what? When you go to church and you fellowship with all these people, you feel God's presence, and like we have a banquet coming up next week, and I love those banquets because everybody goes. It's the food's great, the environment's fun, and it's good, you know. So and it's nothing wrong with going to church and learning about God, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and then fellowshipping, right, with people like people.
Fellowshipping, that's right. So I have actually an interview that will be coming out Thursday. I looked back and I'm like, man, it's been a minute since I've dropped just to sit down one-on-one interview, you know. Been going through some personal things for a while. I think it's been like 4 or 5 months. So Thursday, I think around 6, I'll drop it like as a premiere. And I hope that you all will tune in and check it out and share it and back your girl up. I would appreciate it. And then it's someone that you guys have all seen, I think, as well. So that should be interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But I want to thank you all for being here.
Of course,
another episode done.
Another one for the books. That's right. Much love to everyone in the chat.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. This was really, really good, you guys.
Very interesting topic for sure.
Yes. Next week, same time, same place. Make sure you guys come.
All right, you guys. Take care. Have a beautiful week.
Bye, guys.
God bless you, everybody.
Yes. Love and blessings, everyone.
Yes.
Night.
Birthday, sis.
God bless. Take care.